What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, what we're going to be doing is ranking your Nitro Type Profile 3. I'm super excited for this one. I have a brand new kind of like actual data table that we can judge by. This one will be, I believe, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1. So yeah, anyways, this should be super fun. I'll be going through that right now. Thank you so much to everyone who has already submitted forms. We have 302 responses, which is absolutely insane. But without further ado, let's hop into today's video. If you do happen to win, I won't actually be able to pay it out until next week because of server support restrictions in the NitroType Discord. But without further ado, let's hop into today's video. I'm super excited about this. We are starting it off today with Zachary The Boss. So firstly, what is the best thing about your profile? Cars and speed. Top 300 badge if I have it when you make the video. What is the worst thing about your profile? Accuracy. You can't see it, but it's around 91% and I can't fix it. So let's talk about this right now. So firstly, the badges. And the title, that's our first category. Our first category is name, tag, badges, and it's worth 2 points. Firstly, he already has the top 3 tag and the top 300 racer. That's really cool. Baked Racing Recruit. I have actually not seen this title in quite a little while, I don't think. I'm actually not completely sure what this title is, but it's a pretty cool title. Nothing against the team tag or the name or anything. So he will get the full 2 points in the name, tag, and badges. So now let's move on to the next one, the racer skill. And essentially, this is his words per minute. So firstly, he has a 121 to 154. Basically, what I'm doing is 0 to 50 is 0.5 points, 50 to 100 is 1 point, 100 to 150 is 1.5, and then 150 to 200 average is onwards, or I guess 150 to however long is a full 2 points. So obviously we will give it a 1.5 in that category just to remain consistent. Racer activity, he is already a level 84, so there's not much else to say other than a full 2 points in that category as well. So therefore, moving on to the garage. We're moving down to the garage. Overall, I think the garage is pretty cool. I'm actually not that big of a fan of non-painted cars and non-painted cars in an order. I know some people like it as a style, but I think it's kind of uncreative, just in my opinion. So we'll give a 2 out of or actually a 1.5 out of 3 on the garage because the design is pretty good and he has a pretty fair amount of cars. So that leads to one more final, I guess you can say final category, which is worth 1 point. This is called miscellaneous. So essentially, we'll be counting his profile views, when he was a member since, his total races, stuff like that. So he's a member since 2017, so that's definitely giving him some points. 6K profile views, also pretty good. And, not much else to say. So I guess we will give him a 1 out of 1 on that one. And if you did notice that I am grading a little bit more harshly with this new rubric. So essentially 2 out of 2 for name tag badges, 1.5 out of 2 for racer skill, 2 out of 2 for racer activity, 3 out of 3 for garage layout, or 1.5 out of 3 for garage layout. I said that wrong. And then 1 for miscellaneous. So, or 1 out of 1. So finally, if we add them all up, we get a final score of 8 points. Congratulations to Zachary, starting off pretty strong. Let's move on to our next racer profile. All right, so we are moving on to player number 2, and their name is Isaac. So let's talk about them right here, right now. And firstly, we'll talk about the best thing on their niche profile, either my 120-ish average, my perk, or my 5 garage sections. What is the worst thing about your profile? I'm not on a super high-ranking team. We typically stay around 400 to 500th place. So without further ado, let's go over his profile, starting off with the name and tag badges. So already he does not have a tag, or the badge, sorry. The tag is actually pretty cool. The name is actually pretty minimalistic and cool. So we'll give him a 1 out of 2. Actually, we'll give him a 1.5 out of 2. Overall pretty solid there. So now moving on to our next one, and this is the racer skill. So his words per minute, as we have said before. So he's averaging a 123, and as we know, our protocol for 100 to 150 is a 1.5. So he'll also get a 1.5 in that category out of 2. Racer activity. Moving on to our racer activity is level 55, which is high above the 20 standard for a full 2, so we will give him a 2 out of 2 on that one. Garage layout, this is the big one. This is the most points. Overall, it's not like totally painted, but he does have a lot of cars, and I do like the gold cars being arranged there. And overall, it's an okay one. If he does paint his cars and kind of like arrange them a little bit nicer, in my opinion, it would be a little cool. But you can also see that he's arranging them in specific places. Like, I guess this one's like a dealership thing. These are the king of the race cars. These are the gold cars. Overall, pretty good. So we'll give him a 2 out of 3, just for the arrangements. And then finally, we are going into the miscellaneous category. The miscellaneous category, as we know, is the OG memberness and the profile views and stuff like that. So he's been a member since 2018, it's kind of OG, so not too bad. And then obviously we see his profile views, 1,412, a little bit on the lower side. So we'll give him 0.75 out of 1. I didn't really do 0.75s. I usually do like half and whole points, but we want to give him as much credit as possible. So finally, his total, 1.5 for name tag badges, 1.5 for racer skill, 2 for racer activity, 2 for garage layout. So that adds up to around 7.75, a very solid score for this new bracket. Nice job, Isaac. That was a very solid run as well. Let's hop into our next person. Next up, we have Pizza Lover 5. So on the same team as Isaac, overall pretty solid profile as well. But let's talk about it right now. Starting off with our name tag and badges and no tag. So, the name is pretty similar, or not the name. The tag is obviously identical, and overall I think it's pretty much identical to Isaac. So we will give a 1.5 as well for Pizza Lover. And then Racer Skill, they're averaging 86 right now. So we'll give it a 1 because obviously that 50 to 100 word per minute range that we were talking about. So now next up we have Racer Activity. So level 35, already an automatic 2, plus 10,000 races. So that really solidifies the Racer Activity. Garage Layout, it's actually pretty similar to Isaac's, kind of like, I guess you can say assigned in the same way. It's not too bad, I suppose, but overall, it's kind of a lack of cars. I mean, not really a lack, just like, how would you say it? It's not like a lack of cars, but it's also like not over the top amount of cars. I think that's a good way to say it. So, we will give a 1.5 out of 3 for the garage layout. And then finally, for the miscellaneous category, 2018 as well, 577 profile views. So definitely a lower amount, but we'll also give an 0.75 for that category as well. So to go over Pizza Lover, we have 1.5 for name tag and badges, 1 for racer skill, 2 for racer activity, 1.5 for garage layout. So that is a 6.75, it looks like. So overall, a really solid run as well. Everyone's doing pretty well so far. We have 3 people and all over 5, which is really good. So yep, just making sure that I added that correctly. Yep, looks like we're all good. All right, let's hop into our next person. Next up on this list, we have Tom Brady, aka King, who is on my team. So without further ado, let's go over our first one, aka the badges. I like the team tag, obviously, because it's my team. I like the name, but there is no badge, which, I suppose deserves a 1.5 as well out of 2. Racer skill, obviously, we see the 100 to 150, so that will be given a 1.5 in that category. Racer activity, obviously 46k plus, higher than level 20, so that's an automatic 2 right there. Garage layout, let's go to the garage right now. Kind of similar to Pizza Lovers, actually, where we see like not a whole lot of cars, but also like not too small of an amount, and they're also arranged to like specific kind of formations. So we will give the same as Pizza Lovers as well, and that is a 1.5 out of 2. Miscellaneous, obviously we see 2019 and then 6k profile views. That also probably warrants around 0.75 because his account is relatively new. So adding it all up, we have 3 for name tag badges and racer skill. We have 2 for racer activity, so that'd be a 5, and then 1.5, which would be a 6.5. So we have a 7.25 for King. Obviously, it is a much stricter kind of setup here, and the garage is probably a lot of your kind of overall, I guess you can say grade, but overall really solid run for King as well. Let's hop into up. We have AP Tony 415 YT, and I have not actually been doing this, basic, I guess you can say, like interview in the actual interview in the actual Google Forms. So we'll like try to stay consistent with it at least a little bit. But firstly, let's go over the actual sheet. So name tag badges. Starting off, there is no tag or badge, but ASLQ or ALSQ is a pretty cool tag. Nothing wrong with the name either. So we'll give a 1.5. I feel like 1.5 is pretty standard. That's like if you don't have anything wrong with your name, but you also don't have any badges. Racer skill, obviously 71, so we will be giving a 1 for that category. Racer activity, going level 43, automatic 2 out of 2. Garage layout, this is the big one that most people lose points on. I do like how it does follow, a basic blue one, but there is also kind of a lack of cars. I think if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are like 8 rows right here. I think aiming for over 10 is what would get you a full point on here, or full credit. But I do like the paint job, so we will give a 2 out of 3 overall for the garage layout. And then miscellaneous, obviously profile views, 5,000, not too bad. And then December 9, 2019. So while he does have a pretty fair amount of profile views, his account is also fairly new. So we will give is a 0.75. That adds up to around, let's see, name tag badges 1.5, racer skill 1, so that would be 2.5, racer activity 2, so that would be 4.5, garage layout, that's also 2, so that would be 6.5, and then 6.5 plus 0.75 is a 7.25. Nice job, AP Tony, that is a 7.25 for you as well. Let's hop into our next person. Next up, we have Universal Legend. What is the best thing about your profile? My speed. What is the worst thing about your profile? My garage. So anyways, let's go over his name tag badges right now. He has a top 50 team and a top 300 racer, so overall a pretty solid one. He also has a pretty cool name with an OG. Obviously, we can see the special characters and then the speed title. So that will be a full 2 out of 2 for the name tag and badges, not one that we've seen since Zachary. So with racer skill, we have 138, so that is in that 100 to 150 zone, so that will warrant a 1.5. Racer activity, we have a level 215 plus 101,000 races. I think that definitely warrants a 2 out of 2. Garage layout, if we go to the garage, this is a pretty nice garage, if I do say so for myself. Obviously, we do see there are some empty garage spaces, but I do believe he actually has a lot more than most, but not the most. So we will definitely give a 2.5 out of 3 for the garage space. Now, moving on to the miscellaneous 2019, so we'll take off a 0.25 of point for that, but definitely a bunch of profile views. So yep, we will leave it at an 0.75. So finally, we are going to add up the rest of them. So we have 2, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 0.75. So that would be a 3.5 plus 2. That would be a 5.5 plus 2.5. That would be a 8 plus 0.75 and 8.75. That is our highest one yet. Very nice job, Uni. That was extremely nice. Let's hop into our next person. Moving on, we have Iggy C. What is the best thing about your profile? Probably my cars. I've been achieving and collecting cars since February 2017, so that's probably the best part. Also, I'm a captain of the top 50 team called Seagull, so maybe that's something, question mark. I've also got 6.5k profile views, which is nothing compared to Ace's I know. Also, my high speed is 163. What is the worst thing about your profile? Race count, I've only got about 17.5k races and could do better. So let's go over their profile right now. Already looking at it, it's looking pretty nice. The badges, we have a top 50 team, and the name, nothing wrong with that either. So we'll actually give it a 1.75 because there's no racer badge, but overall pretty solid stuff right there. Now moving on to what do we have next? So racer skill, that is a 1 out of 2 or 1.5 out of 2. Sorry, with the 100 to 150. Oh my gosh. So 1.5 out of 2. Then moving on to racer activity, level 38. So obviously we have a full 2 out of 2. Nobody has gone below 2 out of 2 just yet. Garage layout, this looks like a really nice garage. It is all like, super, I guess you can say, compacted, but also at the same time, like all the colors merge nicely together. It's a really cool color to paint all of your cars. And overall, there are a bunch of OG cars as well. I feel like I would give it a full 3 out of 3 if there was a little bit more garage space. Actually, we'll count though, just to be sure. In case there's a 10, we'll give it a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, or is that 8? It's 10. So anyways, it's not actually a full 10 though. So we'll give it 2.5. Overall, a really solid race nevertheless, or a really solid garage nevertheless. That's a lot said. Miscellaneous. Going into our miscellaneous right here, right now, we have the 2017, so OG plus 7K profile views. That is a full one, guaranteed. So adding it all up, never mind, we do have 0.75. So name tag badges 1.75, racer skill 1.5, racer activity 2, garage layout 2.5, and miscellaneous 1. So adding it up right now, that is 4, that's 6, that's 7, 8.75. Iggy has tied Universal Legend. Wow, that was crazy. All right, so we have a two-way tie right now. Let's see if anybody can beat it with our next person. All right, for our next person, we have Mr. Mick Falafels. Very nice name, I suppose. So firstly, let's go over their name tag badges. No badges, but overall pretty cool name, pretty cool tag. So we will give it a 1.5 for that. Racer skill 87, so we'll give a 1 for them. Racer activity, we have over level 28, so obviously that is a free 2 points right there. Garage layout, obviously the big hitter. Not too bad, I suppose. I'm actually really not a big fan of these like huge garage spacing and stuff like that, especially considering these like spaced out cars and stuff like that. So I'll give it a 1.5. Also, a bunch of the cars are not painted, so we will give a 1.5 for the garage right now. And then with the miscellaneous, we have obviously 2017, so that's a full point plus 2K profile views, so not too bad. So we will give a 1 point right there for that. So adding them all up, 1.5, 1, 2, 1.5, 1. So actually those add pretty nicely. That's 3, that's 5, that is a 7 in total. So yep, not too bad whatsoever. Overall, I think people have been doing pretty nicely, to be honest. Anyways, everyone, that is going to be today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Be sure to leave your comments down below on who you think should have won, and you can yell at me if you want. Otherwise, the form will be linked down there, as well as the actual Google Sheet, so you can see the placements for yourself. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching today. I hope you enjoyed. Have an amazing day, and peace out.